Let's get into this story. So Anthony Ramos, who that's my other man. I have a lot of men, a lot of crushes, a lot of husbands. Pedro Pascal, y'all already know how I feel about him. I love me some Anthony Ramos. That boy can sit on my face, and I will feel no ways to hide. But yeah, so he recently appeared on an episode of Watch What Happens Live, and he spilled some tea about the one and only Madonna. So now, for those who don't realize, he was in Hamilton. He is right there. Here's Hamilton. He was in Hamilton, and he said he was asked a question because Sierra was also in there. And now I have something I want to add to the show. I mean, this topic about Sierra, because she was asked about Rihanna, because y'all know she and Rihanna was beefing, and she talked about that. So I'm gonna bring that up because I was like, that could just be something I bring up in 2 seconds. I don't have to do a whole segment on it. So while he recently appeared on Thursday's episode of Watch What Happens Live, Andy asked the Broadway star who was the most terrifying celebrity to spot in the audience during your Hamilton days. And he said the most terrifying was Madonna with her iPad in her face. And he's 33, by the way. And he said she was like this the whole time. He continued, imitating Madonna looking down at a tablet. And you already know the tablets is bright. So if I'm in the middle of performing, you're going to notice if somebody's on your phone. I remember I saw something where there was a video of Patti LuPone, who saw a woman that was on her phone, I don't even know if she broke character, but during the performance, she grabbed the lady's phone. First of all, you grab my shit, I'm knocking you out. But then again, me as a human being, what I'm not going to do is be disrespectful at a show and be on my phone, be on a tablet in the middle of work, whatever the case is. If I'm at a show, I'm going to give you my undivided attention because I would expect the same kind of courtesy. And I'm sure that Madonna would as well if somebody were to do that at the celebration tour. Now, if you had people in the audience who was up in there and they the whole time sitting down, which Miss Mamas, you did get dragged because you told people to stand up and you was criticized when come to find out the person was in a wheelchair. And then I don't know if she felt bad, but you got dragged on social media for that. So when you go after people for things of like they sitting down during your shows or whatever the case is, and they not keeping up with the type of pace and the energy that you have, if you want that same respect at your concerts, you should offer the same respect at a Broadway show, especially if someone like Anthony Ramos in the cast of Hamilton is up there performing. So he also said that he could tell by the Material Girl singer's distracting antics that she was not impressed by his or rest of the cast performance. He said, I was like, damn, shorty. I'm like, if you're not going to enjoy it that much, the door is right there. He recalled thinking, you ain't got to stay here. And in my opinion, he's absolutely right. It's like, yeah, if you're not that impressed with what we got going on, why spend the money? Why take the time to come see my show? Unless there was somebody that she was with that wanted to see the play and she wanted to go. From what I heard, I think it was Rocco that was there with her and he wanted to see Hamilton. And I guess she didn't feel like, okay, I'm going to let you go see the show by yourself. So I'm going to go with you. And, so she went, but she didn't care about the play. So I'm going to focus on work while you go and do what you got to do. But I wouldn't do that because my thing would be like, send them with a nanny, send them with whatever. You go do what you got to do. I'm busy. I'm in the middle. I'm in work mode. If you're in work mode, I need to devote all my time and effort to the job. I'm not going to go to a show and do work there because these people on the stage are actually working to entertain you. Let me entertain you. Shout out to Robbie Williams. So they said tonight was the first time they said back in April 2015, Playbill, reported that Madonna attended the Broadway show at the Public Theater, but was not invited backstage after it wrapped due to her lack of theater etiquette. Saying, quote, tonight was the first time I asked stage management not to allow a celebrity who was texting all through Act 2 backstage. Hashtag no selfie for you. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who created and starred in Hamilton, wrote in a since deleted tweet at the time per Playbill. So he was mad at Madonna. He was like, oh, don't let that bitch come back here. Hell no. A source told the outlet that the songstress, because the funny part was to be like, oh, I just love the show, whatever. My shady ass, but what part did you like? I'll wait because I know your ass wasn't paying attention. A source told the outlet that the songstress arrived late to the show and proceeded to take out her phone several times during the first act. She continued, quote, she continued to use her phone, which glowed brightly in the public's intimate Newman Theater throughout the second act. Reps from Madonna did not immediately respond to Page Six requests for comment. Now, Hamilton debuted off Broadway in early 2015, with Ramos portraying the dual role of John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton, the son of the titular character played by Miranda. He exited the award-winning musical on November 2016 and went on to star in movies like In the Heights, Dumb Money, and Twisters. And I believe the reason why he was there on Watch What Happens Live because he was promoting Ironheart, which, no shade, although I am going to watch it, the promotion behind this show, the way that Disney Plus is treating this show, I have a feeling this show is going to be trash. I feel like it's going to be a one and done. This show was filmed damn near 3 years ago. It's now coming out, and I don't feel like Disney even has faith or believes in this show. So that's why they're kind of like just dumping it. And from what I heard, the full season is going to be 2 weeks long, which is it's 6 episodes, but they're releasing the episodes in threes. And I remember somebody brought up and said, but they did that with Andor. But I'm like, Andor was different. Andor was they released 3 episodes for 4 weeks. And the reason why they did that is because all 3 episodes represented a year in the time frame of what was going on in that season. So if I'm releasing it weekly, y'all would kind of fall out, like you wouldn't be able to follow along with the, like I feel like it would take y'all out. So to keep you guys interested, you had to watch all 3 episodes at once, so that way you can kind of follow along with the show. Now I don't know how people, the way that it was intended for Disney Plus to do it versus how people actually watch the episodes at home and binge them. That's different. But as I said before, I love me some Madonna. But as I've said many a times, I'm gonna call her out when she do things. Well, this is according to Anthony Ramos. She hasn't come out and said her side of the story, but I would not be surprised if this story is true. And I don't think he would go on TV and make this up, because it's like, yeah, I was a nobody back then, trying to make my way through the Broadway space, being a performer, that sort of thing, and I'm doing my thing. And this show was getting rave reviews, and here she comes, being disrespectful. And this ain't the first time Madonna's been called out for her rudeness and her tardiness. And she loved being late, apparently, because she even be late starting her own damn concerts. So, I love you, Madonna, but I need you to be more Madonna and less Madoo-doo when you doing what you do. So, not so well. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I remember Robert wrote something earlier in the show. I don't know if he's still in the room, but you could re-add it back into the comments. It was like way up in the comment situation earlier on what he had said about that. But yeah, I want to hear from you all. What do you guys think of this story in regards to what Anthony Ramos was revealing? Oh, before I forget, I almost forgot. I got to tell you about the thing with Sierra. So Sierra was asked about her situation with Rihanna, that they rekindled something, because remember, them two was beefing. And she said that they're mommies now, things have changed. They, they let bygones be bygones. They squashed their beef at the Met Gala, the recent one that we just had. So yeah, they let bygones. It's like they're older. She's got 3 kids. Sierra's got 4. So it's like their moms. They're seasoned professional performers. All that stuff that they did back in the day was water under the bridge. And I'm glad that these girls worked it out, but it was just like, yeah, that was just nothing that warranted a full topic. I just need to tell y'all that in passing. So I definitely want to hear from y'all in regards to the whole thing about Anthony Ramos and what he had to say about Madonna. So let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below.